Here we have a pre-owned 2017 Chevy Sonic Hatchback. This one comes in the LS trim level in Summit White on gray cloth interior. And our powertrain consists of a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Coming around to the front end here, we do get our halogen projector lights. Then we also have LED running lights as well, and they don't flash like that. It's just how the camera's picking it up. But really cool to have this on a base model car. And then checking these wheels out, these are going to be 15-inch steel wheels with hubcaps. And then over here we do have power door locks and we have manual roll-up windows. Nice storage pocket in there though, you can fit a bigger bottle or something. Headlamp controls here, and I think this used to be a fleet vehicle because it has all this smart drive stuff on here, but that does not come standard. But here's our manual driver's seat. And I'm not even going to try and squeeze. Actually, yes I am. I'm going to squeeze back here. For you all's viewing pleasure, I have the seat in front of me adjusted for someone being 6'3" like myself. And that's my leg room there. So I don't have much, but you can fit a kid back here. And let's squeeze out of here. And coming around to the back end here, just a little bit of water getting in on the right side there where it's cracked on that tail light. But really love that exhaust tip. It's held up pretty good. This car has like 106,000 miles on it, I think. And there's a cargo space there. But coming around to the right side here, there's a gas cap there. And then we can actually fold this seat down. And when the seat's up far enough, it'll fold nearly flat, and then you can have additional space with that barrier out of the way. And then I do like that we have the grab handles with the hooks for your clothes, and then we do have just one pocket behind the passenger seat, but I do like that we get that armrest over there. I'm trying to get the seat to go back. There we go. And then here's our manual front passenger seat here. It has just a little less adjustability than the driver's side. Good sized glove compartment, and then you have the second storage area up here as well. Let's go ahead and pop the hood real quick, and then we'll take a look at this engine. Just pull up here. And there's that 1.8 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. But now we're going to go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. Going to cut the air down just a little bit. Now over to the steering wheel, we don't get cruise control with this model, but it is an option that you can get on the LTs. And then these buttons here, as you can see, go through what's on that visible part of the gauge there on the right side. And blinkers there, high beams, and then you can flash your high beams there. And the right side stalk, windshield wipers. Then we also have a rear wiper here. Okay, it's got a little button there. So on, off, intermittent. Then we can pull back and we have rear wiper fluid, and pull up for front wiper fluid. And then we have our voice recognition controls here. This also serves as a mute button. And then we can toggle our radio station favorites, and then we can change the source by clicking there. And then we can turn our volume down here, and then we can turn it up there. But over here to the radio, we do get AM, FM, and then we have Bluetooth audio, an aux input, and a USB input. What's really cool is with the USB input, this is the first year that you were able to get wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto with the Sonic, so it was one of the first to do it in the segment. So a fun fact. Then we do have a backup camera with guidelines that turn as you turn the steering wheel, which is also pretty revolutionary at that time. We have our AC controls here, fan speed there, you toggle the AC there, cut the vents there, or cut the circulation there, and then you push here for the rear defrost, and then we can decide where the airflow is going by turning this knob one way or another. And then here's where you actually have your unlock and lock buttons for the front passenger, because you don't get it on that side, which is interesting. You only get it on the driver's side. But for the 6-speed, you grab this here, pull down, reverse, neutral, drive, and then your manual mode, and you can shift right here, and it'll show you what gear you're in right up there on that digital part on that readout. And then your inputs for the USB and aux are right there. You can toggle your traction control here, brake here, emergency brake, excuse me. And you have cup holders here, a 12-volt, another cup holder back there. And then this actually does come with 10 airbags. There's tons of airbags in this car. Can't pull that. And the mirror is right there. But that's pretty much it on this Chevy Sonic. So next we're gonna go ahead and take it out on the road for a quick test drive. So surprisingly, this 6-speed shifts pretty quickly, especially for a car like this. I'm very impressed. And that's downshifts and upshifts. Very, very nice. Now, of course, with a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated engine, it does not get up without hearing quite a bit of whine from the engine, but there's no surprise there. And I'm gonna put my foot in it coming out of this corner. And pickup actually is good. Like really good for a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder. No turbo, no supercharger, nothing. Very impressed. And brake pedal feels good. Now I'm hearing just a few creaks from the front end as I'm slow going around corners, but this car has 105,000 miles on it. And adequate merging power. Now with this engine, I don't know if it's something that happened over time, but the car is just a tad loud. But I had a Geo Prism with a 1.8 liter and it only had, I think, a 4-speed automatic. And it tended to hum like this at speeds over 70, really over 65 miles per hour. So it's a noisy engine, but really just like the ride quality coming down the interstate here. For such a small car, nothing weird, even with this kind of mileage. Now this one, with it being an LS, I believe it was a fleet car, so no cruise control on here, but you can always add that if you want to, either aftermarket or I know you get it on the LTs and above, but I'm not sure if you get it as an option on the LS. But everything about this just, it drives like a commuter car, it really does. Now for the HVAC controls, it took a minute to heat up, but once the car actually did get warm, the heat is very hot, and I have it all the way up because it's cold out today, so that still works. And I do like this manual mirror here. It's very easy to adjust. It's just really hard to adjust on that passenger side, especially if you're in the car driving. But like here, I can just reach for that really quickly. So it's actually more feasible in my opinion than a power mirror, because there's a lot less of a lag there. But with this car, what's great is you do get the AM, FM, and then you have the Bluetooth audio and an aux. But that wired Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto for 2017 in this kind of car, really, really remarkable. And what's crazy is I think at that time, these were like 18, 20 grand. And you had all of this technology that wasn't really readily available yet. I mean, now it's pretty much a standard. You have to have at least wired Apple CarPlay or Android Auto in your car if you have a screen. But it's just really nice to have these kind of features in this kind of car. Especially this one now you can get for like 8 or 9 grand. It's a cheap little commuter. And with it being naturally aspirated, there's not a lot that really has to, you don't have to worry about a turbo like you do in pretty much every other engine now. You get a 4-cylinder, but it has a turbo in it. So that's one less thing you have to worry about breaking down or whatever. But all in all, for the money, you get quite a lot, especially now. And what was really surprising was how quickly the 6-speed shifts in the manual mode. And of course, you could suit this up and probably make it a lot more fun to drive in that mode as well. But especially for driving around town, really good on gas. When you put your foot down, if you need to accelerate, it can do so. It just might blow your ears because it gets extremely loud, and especially in the lower RPM range as cruising, especially when you first start this thing up, the whole bottom of the seat was vibrating. So I thought that was weird, but it's just, like I said, it feels like my Geo. And it pretty much has the same powertrain except the transmission. But all in all, still a really impressive vehicle, like I said, for the money. And especially if you're trying to have a gas sipper. But as we come to the end of the test drive, this is going to bring me to the end of my review of the 2017 Chevrolet Sonic Hatchback LS.